or something better than that. I think that's across the board one of their main concerns. And of course, at this point, we're still at the conceptual stage, so we couldn't give them details. But what we agreed to today was to select 3 auditing firms that will go across the country to the 31 operators and determine their value, their cost structure. And so with that now, we'll be closer to having more details on how we'd be able to transition. It's a matter of trust, of bridging that gap. But we must remember that the other stakeholder, in fact the most important stakeholder, is the commuter. And it's been for too long now that our commuters have been suffering, and that in fact the bus sector has not been improving but deteriorating. So it is incumbent on all of us, including the operators, to make the best effort to collaborate. I think that we on government side have done the best that we can to assure them that what we do will not in any way make it worse for them. On the contrary, especially the smaller operators will be shareholders of one national company, and that will definitely improve their profitability, because one consolidated company clearly will have significant economic benefits. I think that as we go about getting the details, that more and more of these operators will come on board.
One of the main issues raised by the operators this morning was the timeline. The bus operators are stating that the January 31st deadline to finalize the agreement is too soon, and they want more time and more dialogue. Minister Zabene says that he's willing to be flexible, but insists that the process needs structure, and that means deadlines.
Some said that it's too tight. Others, as you heard, said that they want to try to meet that deadline because they have been experiencing deadline after deadline being passed. So we are flexible. You know, we set the deadlines, and we're going to go as best as we can to meet those deadlines. And if for whatever reasons we need to extend, then we certainly will. But we have to have some targets to try to meet. I believe the 2 months that we have will be tight to do the evaluation all across the country. We will see how well that will work out. And then the next phase from there goes into organizing the company itself, working on the legislation and all of that. So I think we will just go as best as we can to try and meet the deadlines that we have and all of that. So I think we will just go as best as we can to try and meet the deadlines that we have.
After this morning's meeting, the bus operators elected a board who will select 3 auditing firms to meet with bus operators and evaluate their business model to see how much shares, if any, they would be entitled to once the bus company is formed. Another concern that was raised at this morning's meeting between the Ministry of Transport and the bus operators had to do with the run-down conditions of the bus terminals across the country. During this week's budget debate, the opposition pointed out that no monies were allocated towards fixing the terminals or constructing new ones. According to Minister Zabene, if the PPP is successful, terminals will be able to receive upgrades without the government putting in a single dollar.
How we are envisioning the progress and the development of this company, the government does not need to put in a penny. And why is that? Because after the valuation, the government has assets in the company, they have their companies in the national company, and then if there are some of them who wish to be paid out, as you saw the pie charts that showed the distribution of ownership for BEL, BWSL, and BTL, you see that government owns a portion, Social Security owns a portion, Central Bank owns a portion, and private people own a portion. That's for the 3 public utilities. We had presentations here from 2 other PPPs, right? The National Bus Company and the Southern Depot Development Limited, where their distribution is for National Gas Company, government owns 25%, and the rest are private. And for the Southern Depot, 20% government and 80% private. We showed all of that to them to make that very point, right? That when we come up with the final configuration, that is when we'll be able to determine what kind of values they will have, how much they will keep within the company, and then institutional investors that come into these kinds of companies, let us say that half of the bus owners want to be paid out. Then those institutional investors have the option to buy those shares and we pay out those bus owners. So again, no money from the central government at all. Then the company is a company with assets, and that company then it's partly owned by government, can then raise funds at very concessional rates to buy new buses, to improve the terminals, etc. Again, at that point, not a single penny coming out of government coffers. So we discussed that, and I think they understood that that is how a number of companies have evolved over time, and how this one would be able to evolve as well. We at the ministry have an obligation to improve the terminals with the, yes, limited resources that we have. But there are some very basic things that should have been done long ago. Fixing the bathrooms, putting doors that are up that have fallen down. These are not expensive things to do. So we have the wherewithal to at least give some marginal improvements, bring back some dignity to our people. That we will do from government resources. That's there already. It's not a lot of money that's required.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness, in a statement released earlier today, provided an update on the ongoing measles outbreak in Belize. According to the ministry, samples from 69 individuals experiencing symptoms of measles, fever, and rash have been collected, with 66 of these samples having been processed. Currently, since the start of the outbreak, 9 cases of measles have been confirmed by a laboratory, with 13 epidemiologically linked cases being diagnosed with measles. As a result, the ministry urges the public to receive the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccines, emphasizing the safety and effectiveness of these vaccines in protecting vaccinated individuals from the disease. The government of Belize has been ordered by the Court of Appeal to pay out the sum of $185,000 to Dean Barrow, former Prime Minister of Belize. The court had found that a commission of inquiry had violated Barrow's constitutional rights after the commission's report was published without giving Barrow a chance to respond to allegations made against him. The Commission of Inquiry was one established in 2021 by the Briceño administration to investigate the sale of government assets during the Barrow administration, where he served as both Prime Minister and Minister of Finance. The Court of Appeal upheld the previous judgment that the Commission of Inquiry had failed to give Barrow a fair opportunity to respond to the allegations. The government of Belize was ordered to pay $125,000 in compensatory damages for emotional distress and reputational harm, alongside an additional $60,000 in vindictory damages. The court also quashed all portions of the Commission of Inquiry report that referred to or implicated Barrow. The Atlantic hurricane season is set to begin on Sunday, June 1st, and will continue through November 30th, bringing with it the annual risk of tropical systems developing in the North Atlantic, Caribbean Sea, and Gulf of Mexico. While storms can occasionally form outside of these dates, this 6-month stretch marks the peak period for hurricane activity. Forecasters are predicting a potentially busy season this year, with projections calling for 13 to 19 named storms. Of those, 6 to 10 are expected to become hurricanes, and as many as 5 could strengthen into major hurricanes classified as Category 3 or higher. These estimates exceed the 30-year-old seasonal average of 14 named storms, 7 hurricanes, and 3 major hurricanes. With a heightened chance of stronger storms, emergency officials are advising communities along the coastlines to review preparedness plans now rather than wait for an approaching storm. We will take our final break. Stay tuned.
Every project starts with the right tools. At Builders Hardware, we got everything to get the job moving. Tools, paint, plumbing, electrical, garden, it's all here from construction start to finish. We're also offering a different kind of power tool. Order anytime, anywhere. Pick up in store or get it delivered to your home. Go to shopbuildersbz.com today and save money with our exclusive online deals. Builders Hardware, making it easier.
Earn V-Bucks and get a chance to win a $10,000 homecation with Benny's. Quality and savings.
Last week was the beginning and now we're in. Everybody's prepared. Don't forget to have those
The music is good, the people were friendly, and it's in a beautiful spot at Doyle's facility, and it's just spectacular. But the food is absolutely awesome and highly recommended for all.
I don't have a beef with them for taking my chicharrones.
Welcome back. Earlier today, the Shana Banner Preschool, located on 25 Trio Street in Belmopan, hosted its Culture Day for students. The local preschool, established in September of last year, is owned and ran by Shana Marie Banner and was launched with the goal of filling the quality childcare preschool gap, which, according to Banner, was identified during her 30 years of teaching. This Culture Day saw students alongside their families coming together from many different cultures to promote positivity and cultural awareness within the youngest population. We spoke to Shana Marie Banner, the owner of the preschool, who spoke on the Culture Day and goals of her preschool.
2024, in the quality childcare is an institution for parents and for our children, and having taught in the primary school for over 30 years, there was definitely a gap that we encountered. I keep on encountering it, and after going to the University of Belize, the University of the West Indies with my master's degree, I realized that to bridge the deficit gap and also to align myself with the Millennium Goals that our government have actually signed on to, and for Plan Belize, which is to create stimulating environment for children, warm, nurturing, and I know that I have the capability to do just that. I decided that it is time for us to put another quality childcare preschool out there. One of the highlights and one of the goals of our education system is to promote culture. And we know that in order for us to do anything and we want it to be long lasting, we must target our youngest population. If you want to see the soul of a nation, you look at how the youngest population is treated. And so we decided in the population, my population is a diverse, and I have seen from the get-go that camaraderie that was built, they love each other, they nurture each other. And so with that, we've decided to do this culture day today. It was supposed to be done for Child Simulation Month, but because of all the other activities that we embarked upon, today we decided to do that and invite the parents, invite the media to come and highlight some of the wonderful things that we have been doing. We're a school that teaches different languages, Garifuna, Spanish, and so we wanted to highlight these. And we thank the media for coming, because the media also play a critical role in promoting positivity, and it starts from the youngest population. And we are proud because we have our parents, we have our grandparents, and they're all excited. They all came together, all of them, and they from their culture. So as you go around, you will see representation of the food. For this first culture day, we are only focusing on the clothing and the food. In the next year, when they are a little bit older, a year older, then we will focus on the other implements and things like that, where they can readily present themselves and be able to present. But for now, we are focusing on the food. One of the mission of the school is we have children and we must be able to promote them and equip them with the necessary skills, competency to be able to function globally. Our children and our country sign on to so many different target goals, and so we need to start preparing them to be competitive global citizens. So the skills that we promote is also skills that is cross cultural in the Caribbean. We look at a curriculum that highlights competency skills within the Caribbean, within Latin America. So that in itself is a start for us, and we want to be able to continue promoting that. We have established a Facebook page, and the Facebook page have all the necessary information. We are just one more person, and this morning that parent called the capacity to reach our capacity for the next school year. But we are in the process of expanding. We started off small. This preschool started very small, but with some very dedicated parents. And I feel that what God has done is to allow me to look at myself and look at how I was able to handle myself when I was at a smaller pace, and then we know from there we go gradually. We start small and then increasing, and I can proudly say that this coming school year 2025-2026 it has increased. It has doubled actually, so the blessing has doubled.
And that's the news. Thank you for joining us. From all of us here at Plus TV, have a good night and God bless.